lead further and further. There are going to be more and more restrictions. Once it's established with digital ID and digital currency, people are going to be totally controlled by the elite.
This is Callum Smiles at the very first anti-15-minute city protest here in Oxford, and I'm joined by thousands of people who have their concerns, and I want to find out exactly what they are. So why do you think it's important to come down to this protest today?
I think it's important to come down because essentially what they're doing to Oxford is they're restricting people's freedom to move, you know what I mean? Because they're splitting it up into 7 districts, so it essentially is restricting people's right to move. You have to pay the government in order to get around the block, and it's going to kill small businesses, it's going to kill tourism, it's going to be crazy.
Ladies, why is it important for you guys to come down here today?
Because this is the first trial that they're going to do for the 15-minute cities. So I think it's really important to raise awareness right now before this gets out of control. I think 48 councils have signed up to it in the UK. I think they're trialling it in Bath now, and people just don't understand what it is and need to have a bit of vision of where it's going in the future, that it's just going to restrict people's freedom of movement.
So why was it important for you to come to this protest today?
Because ultimately we have not been given a choice, so this is the start of our freedoms being taken away. We should be able to move as we please. We shouldn't be fined and restricted to what they want us to do, basically.
And do you think it stops at 15-minute cities?
Absolutely not. This is just the start. Once they start, they will keep on going and keep on taking away from us.
John, why is it important for you to come here today?
Just to raise awareness, or to try and raise awareness of the 15-minute city as not being a nice little keep it local thing, but a way of obviously restricting people to a very small area in which to travel on a normal basis.
So they've ignored what the people want of this town. You know, there was a massive debate about it. 90% of the, apparently 90% of the town didn't want what was being implemented, and they've just done it anyway. So here we are today. This is why we're here, because if you're not going to listen to us when we are trying to do this peacefully, we're trying to talk and let you know why we are doing this, then what other option do you leave us?
Do you think it stops at 15-minute cities?
No, this is just the start of it. This is just the start of it. It's all the guys. It's all in the best interests of us, and it isn't. It's for them. It's for the elite. It's for them to make money off of. It's for them to control us. Because this is what it is about. Who gets to decide where you can go or how many times you can come out of your borough? And then on top of that, it's we're going to charge you now for this. No, absolutely not. They're fleecing us.
So Nazarene, do you want to live in a 15-minute city and eat bugs?
No, I do not want to live in a 15-minute city and eat bugs. No, thank you. If you want to, that's up to you. You can do that if you want. It's not the kind of life I want to live.
Thank you very much. So it's a really good turnout here on Broad Street. There's well over 1,000 people behind me, all here for the same cause, and that is to oppose these 15-minute cities, or more specifically here in Oxford, the traffic filtering systems. We've got a few speeches going on, and ultimately everyone's here for the same thing, to put an end to these undemocratic 15-minute cities. So can I ask you why it's important for you to come down here today?
Well, I think we're just on a slippery slope, aren't we? Like freedom's just being taken bit by bit by bit, and everybody thinks, oh well, that don't matter, and then all of a sudden you've lost everything. There's a lot of people here, but I don't know what's the matter. Who thinks it's a good idea living within 15 minutes and getting a pass to get out? Why have you got to, freedoms have been fought and won over generations, and surely people are going to stand up at some point and say enough's enough. I don't know. That's what I think, anyway.
If you went back 4 years and said, this is where we'll be in 2023, a lot of people would probably say, God, that's rock bottom and surely would never happen. But do you think there's even further to fall from this?
Oh yeah, I think things are going to get a lot worse, or they're going to try to make it a lot worse. That was just a test. I think, it was an intelligence test, I think, the first part. And a lot of people failed it, but hopefully they've done their homework now and they'll pass next time.
So Dave, we saw you down at the leaflet drop here last time in Oxford. So why was it important for you to come down here again today?
We're going to keep pressing back against both the council and the government against this concept of 15-minute cities and these low emission zones, which as we're hearing from the speakers today, it's a whole load of nonsense. And what we need to do is keep fighting back, keep pushing back, keep making our voices known, in order that they understand there's a lot of us out there and we understand what's going on.
So, Mr. Singh, we saw you in Davos because you felt it was so important to go and show Keir Starmer your thoughts over there. Why is it important for you to now be here in Oxford?
Yeah, well, we're here now today because, okay, you've got the 15-minute lockdown cities where they're literally trying to imprison us. It's another lockdown. They're using climate and all the rest of it. It's another, I mean, they've moved from the COVID to the climate change, and in this climate change, it's all about lockdown cities. You won't be able to go in your car and all the rest of it. And it's a prison city, and I believe that all they're trying to do is lock us down, and I don't agree with it, so I'm here for that.
Do you think that they will go further than where they're currently going with these 15-minute cities?
Well, if you don't stop them, of course they will. It's going to be like, from now they're saying you'll be able to go out 100 times a year. Then it'll be 10 times a year. Then it'll be 5 times a year, and then it's going to go further than that. Then once when they're bringing the digital currency and all the rest of it, I mean, they've got a big plan. You need to do your research. When you research it, it's like a jigsaw. You get little pieces of jigsaw, you add them together, and you get the bigger picture. And there's a lot more coming down the pipeline. And these people who are the government, so-called governments, are not working for the people, as I told you last time. They're working for the elites, and the elites have got a serious, horrible agenda for mankind.
If there was one thing you could say to your fellow Englishman who isn't quite aware what's going on in the 15-minute cities, what would you say to them to wake them up?
Look what they did to us in COVID. They had us locked down. Boris Johnson was holding parties. How many parties did he have? It was all a lie. People need to look at that. They lied to us about COVID, and this 15-minute city is a lie as well. A lot of people have took the vaccine, got injured, have died, then they woke up. Oh, we don't want the vaccine no more. You need to wake up before this 15-minute city comes in. We can't do what we did with COVID, wait for it to happen, and then, oh, it's gone all wrong. We need to wake up now. We need to pass information, share information with everyone, and this is what we need to do your research, share the information, and we've got this. It's our world. It's a beautiful world. It is an awesome world. It's a beautiful. It belongs to us. We've got this, and just share the truth.
So the crowd is now starting to move on here in Oxford, and as you can see, there's that many people. I've had to get on one of the LTN blockades just to speak to you here on camera. The numbers are huge. It's clear many people are waking up to the idea that these 15-minute cities are not for the benefit of your ordinary working man and woman.
We are sovereign beings, born on this planet all equal. We create governments to help us manage things, but actually they're a creation of ours. So they are subservient to us. What one creates, one is in control of. But this seems to have got inverted with the government and the councils, corporations controlling living beings, and this is totally out of order. And so we need to take back control. We are sovereigns here. Each individual has their own rights and unalienable rights, and artificial organisations should not control them. That's it, basically.
So is that what you think these 15-minute cities comes down to? It's simply a matter of control?
That's right, matter of control. And it's going to lead, you can say it's going to lead further and further. There are going to be more and more restrictions. Once it's established with digital ID and digital currency, people are going to be totally controlled by the elite. And they're the ones who control our governments because of, the way money flows. So essentially, the idea is to control all living beings by a few elite, and this is just out of order.
So tell me about your experiences here at this protest today.
So 2 girls came up to me earlier, just said, what's this about? Didn't really know.
So they weren't part of the march?
No, not part of the march at all. Came up and said, what's it all about? And I explained them what they're going to do. They're going to section the city, ANPR cameras, etc., etc. Absolutely no idea that was happening. Never heard about it, and they both live in a village outside Oxford.
And what were their thoughts about that?
They were absolutely floored. Couldn't believe it. And horrified. And I said to them, couldn't join in then. But they were going shopping. So, but, it was interesting. A, it was interesting that they'd bothered to ask. And B, it was interesting that they hadn't got a clue it was happening, and they lived just up the road.
So the turnout to this anti-15-minute city protest has been huge, and we're now heading towards Cowley Road, which is one of the main areas in question here in Oxford, as that's where most of the LTM bollards are, and it's one of the main roads that's going to be affected should these 15-minute city traffic filtering systems come into place.
And I will stand for Mayor of London against an income next year.
So it's been an interesting day here in Oxford, but more importantly, the turnout has been bigger than expected to protest these 15-minute cities, livable neighbourhoods, circulation plans and LTNs. But even more importantly, it was the bystanders. Hundreds, I'd say going into thousands of bystanders as people have marched through Oxford protesting this issue who had no idea what was going on, and they started to ask questions and more importantly finding out what it means to them. This has been Cal Smiles, Rebel News, here in Oxford following the protest against the 15-minute cities. If you value everything we do here at Rebel, please head over to ukreporters.co.uk, share all the content, and if you can, help chip in a couple of quid to cover our expenses as we bring you the news that matters to you. Thank you.